Hey, Chef Jesse here. How you doing? How you doing, guys? Hope you guys are doing good today. I hope you guys went out to vote, early voting still, and all that good stuff. Like I said, I don't get into politics because no one wins in politics. My parents taught me don't argue religion, don't argue politics, because you'll never win. So anyway, by doing that I keep my friends. Anyway, folks, today I'm making meatloaf. I am making. Last time I made a Italian meatloaf, which I put pasta sauce in it. I put ricotta. I put mozzarella in there, and I forgot what other kind of cheese I used. And it came out pretty good. And I used breadcrumbs and the whole stuff. But today I'm going to make a typical all-American meatloaf. I'm using fresh bread. I took Italian bread that I had. You can see here, this is Italian bread that I had, and it was about 2 days old, and it started getting hard. And what I did, I soaked it in milk, and that's what I'm going to use instead of breadcrumbs. I'm going to use some breadcrumbs, but I'm going to use the bread to soften up the meat. I've got some salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and some paprika, and I have some tomato sauce in there. I have some. I'm going to put cheese in it. Last time I put cheese in it came out nice. It gives it a different kind of texture, and I just grinded a little bit of mozzarella cheese, homemade. I grinded it, yes, homemade, grinded it myself, and so I'm gonna use about I haven't made meatloaf in a while. I'm gonna use about this is about a little bit over 2 pounds of meat of ground beef, and let's open this up and see how much meat it's gonna be. Now, this meatloaf is I mean, I like meatloaf. The next day, meatloaf sandwiches. I mean, it's just it's an easy food. It's easy. The kids love it. As a kid, I didn't like meatloaf. Only until I got older that I started to notice what I was missing. So here I am taking my. I don't know if I can. Let me take this camera down, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. Nope, not that way. This tripod drives me crazy. I gotta get it. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking the meat out of the package. Okay, now I'm making a small meatloaf. Okay, this is a small meatloaf because it's only for Gilbert and I. So the meat is fresh. I got it today, and yeah. So I'm pretty much gonna use most of it. I don't know. There's a little bit left there. Maybe I make a meatball. I don't know. But this is the meat. Okay, this is the meat. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is, of course, wash my hands and take my jewelry off. Okay, I'm gonna take my jewelry because I remember one time I made meatloaf or made something, and there was meat underneath my ring for days, and I kept smelling something, and I was like, what the hell? So my rings are very important. Take them off. Okay, is this recording? This is recording, right? Better be recording. I'm wasting my breath. Oh, no. Yeah, that's recording. Okay, so there's not much you can do to the meat here. Okay, I'm using my fingers. I'm making holes like this. Okay, and you can use your imagination. In meatloaf, you can use your imagination. You can do all kind of things. I see people put eggs in it. Like whole eggs. All kinds of. I'm going to put an egg in here, but I'm going to use it to mix it up, to soften it up. I'm also going to use. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use this thing from McCormick meatloaf seasoning. And let me tell you, this is the best. It has everything in there. So I'm going to put this in here. Okay. I'm going to put this in there, and I'm going to use almost all of it because. And let me run this water. And in that mix, I'm gonna put some garlic powder. You know me and garlic. I'm gonna put some onion powder. Gotta get that onion. I usually chop up onions and I put it in it. Chopped up onions, it tastes great. But I thought I had an onion refrigerator, and I didn't. I ran out of onions, and I am not about to go to the supermarket because I hate the rain. I don't like to be out in the rain. Okay, so here I am, one egg. Okay, there you go. Nice and beaten. And now this is the part you get your hands mushy in there. Okay? And I usually put a little bit of milk in there. Just a little drop. Just a little bit drop. I want to make this meatloaf as soft as possible, so when I cook it, it doesn't come up to be like a big clump. Because let me tell you something, if you cook beef, ground beef, and you don't soften it up, you're gonna get a big clump. Is all you're gonna get. I'm gonna put some paprika in there to give it some color, and that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so if you try to ever make, I've seen people try to make meatloaf, and they just take a piece of ground beef, and they put salt, pepper inside, whatever the hell it is, and it comes out like a brick. It will come out like a brick, I'm telling you. I like the meat soft, and let me stabilize this. Stabilize this tripod here. Okay, so I got all my mixture in there. Okay, there's really no way to taste this. Like like usually when you're seasoning meat, you can taste it. There's really no way. I'm not gonna eat this raw meat. I'm not gonna taste this raw meat for sure. But I'm assuming that it, and I can smell it, and it smells good. And I put the garlic powder in there. Put some more. Never hurts. Put some more garlic powder in there. Okay, so some of the more paprika in there. Now I'm gonna put my wet bread in here. Okay, and this is bread that I've been soaking in there for a little while in milk. Okay, and now what the bread does, it softens the meat. So you don't want it too soft, but you want it. You don't want to be biting into a big piece of brick. Like a big. So it's good to put both hands in there and really. Okay, I'm gonna get some more meat. I might as well use the rest of this meat. Okay, there you go. So there you go. And I put some Italian. I also put some Italian seasoning in there, which is good. Okay, so it looks it looks soft. Okay, it looks. I don't know what the hell this is. A piece of fat in there. A piece of fat. I don't know. Okay, now it looks like it's doable. Wash my hands. Like I said, this is a mess. Take your jewelry off, your rings. Ooh, hot water. The best thing in my building is hot water. I mean, you can. Now I'm gonna put some cheese in it, which is not traditional. A lot of you might say, "What the hell is he doing?" I'm gonna put some cheese in there because the cheese is gonna melt in there, and the melting of the cheese is gonna give it a flavor, a nice flavor. Okay. But folks, like I said, a lot of people have different ways to make meatloaf. I think I always say this. People make things different ways, and they learn from their parents, they learn from their grandparents, different ways. Like the Italian meatloaf I made was delicious. It came out really delicious. It was a lot of work, but it was delicious. But today I'm making, I guess semi-American. I don't know. I put cheese in there, which I don't know. I'm making my own thing. Now I got some tomato sauce in there. There you go. And I'm putting that in there just to give it a flavor. There you go. This is going to be very, very tasty from what I see. I got the tomato sauce in there. I got the cheese in there. I got all these ingredients going. Okay. And I got the pasta sauce. I got the cheese in there. I'm telling you. See how it's taking form. It looks good. Looks good. Smells good. The sauce really made it smell good. Let me wash my hands again. Okay. Okay. And I put some regular. I like to use Italian breadcrumbs, but I ran out of Italian breadcrumbs. I went to the supermarket. You know how you go to the supermarket, you buy all these things, and then you always forget something. And that's what I forgot. So, no big deal. I put some Italian seasoning in there anyway, so. Okay. Big loud sound in the hallway. Somebody got shot. Looks like somebody got shot in the hallway. I don't know. I'm not even gonna look. This pandemic has people going crazy. So there you go. Mixing, I don't know what this is, the cheese in there. Okay. So there you go, folks. That's what it looks like. Okay. Now this is a mini meatloaf that I'm making. It's only for me and Gilbert, and there'll be plenty of leftovers. And tomorrow will be the best. Meatloaf tastes best the next day when you make it into a sandwich or something. So I'm using this pan, this small pan here, and I'm going to spray this. I'm going to spray this with cooking spray. Make sure that the underside, I washed this pan. Yes, I did. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this to spray the sides. Okay. Even though it might shrink a bit, you know it, but I just want to make sure that I can get it out. So I'm going to sprinkle an even layer of the cooking spray. Okay, like so. Oops, okay. My sink is getting clogged up because of the meat. Okay, now I am going to preheat the oven. Okay, I preheated the oven. Now I'm going to take my meatloaf here and put it into the pan. Okay. So let me put that there. I don't have much room. I tell you, I gotta work miracles. I gotta work miracles. Now, what you want to do is you want to pound this down because you don't want any air pockets. Okay, if you have air pockets, the meat is going to rupture. Okay, so make sure you don't have any. Try to get as much as the air pockets out of this meat so that the meat does not rupture when it's cooking. Okay, so I'm shaking it down. Patting it down, it looks like a big, hey, make a pizza. Okay, so I want to get all that air out of there. No air pockets, no air pockets. Make sure that, okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now I put in into my cooking pan, and I stretch it out, okay? And I stretch it out all the way. I could try to go from end to end. Try to go from end to end. It might be a little bit smaller, I don't know. I try to square it off. I try to fill in the corners. Okay. And of course, this is, like I said, this is going to shrink. And it's going to let out some juices. And from those drippings, you can take it out, add some cornstarch to it, mix some other ingredients in it, and make there's some people who put ketchup on it, folks. Ketchup is a big thing in meatloaf, and I'm pretty sure people will criticize. I don't eat ketchup, so that's why I'm not putting ketchup. I know people are going to criticize me. Well, you forgot the ketchup. It's all American. You got to have ketchup. Yeah, it is all American, but not my meatloaf. My meatloaf is special, made by Uncle Jesse, and it's Uncle Jesse style. And if you like it, try it. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe you like it. You let me know. This is my dinner. This is my dinner, and it's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Now instead of putting ketchup in it, and I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put a little bit of slightly breadcrumbs on top because I want this to, when I uncover it later on, to get a little crunch on top. You get that little crunch on the edge when you make the slices, and this is what does it. Okay. So, and then I'm gonna use my pasta sauce, okay? Just regular pasta sauce. I'm gonna put it in the middle here, just like people do with ketchup. But I'm gonna use pasta sauce. Okay. And again, people are gonna tell me, you're supposed to use tomatoes. You're supposed to use tomatoes. Okay, I'm supposed to use tomatoes, but I'm special. I'm Uncle Jesse, and I do things different. And I'm gonna, okay? So there you go. this is your meatloaf. Okay? And let me tell you, it tastes great. I've had it before. I've done it before many times. And so I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to set my temperature at, I think, at 350. And I'm going to cook it slowly at 350 for about an hour. Checking from time to time. I'll use a meat thermometer to make sure that it's cooked. See, and what I do, I cover this up very tightly, so it really cooks in there with that steam. I create a seal, and it cooks with the heat of the steam. And then for the steam to escape, I just make two little holes, two little slots, and that's it. So that should allow the steam to escape. And this is tight. I'm gonna cook it for like an hour. Check it with a meat thermometer, and then if it's done, I'll take it out and put in a little bit more so that the top could get a little bit cooked and crusty, and it'll be good. I'm telling you. Now this is the way I make the meatloaf. I've made it different ways. Like I said, the last time I made an Italian meatloaf where I put ricotta, I put mozzarella, I put all kind of stuff. I put tomatoes. It was great. It was a lot of work, but it was great. And that's the way I made it. It was an Italian meatloaf. Today I made a semi all-American meatloaf. Okay, so don't kill me. Don't kill the messenger. Oh man, this refrigerator is packed. It looks like this place looks like a restaurant, really, my apartment. So anyway, folks, there goes my meatloaf, Uncle Jesse's meatloaf. Now I'm gonna put it in the oven, and you guys are gonna see how it is. And I'm gonna clean up this kitchen. I'm gonna put my meatloaf in there, and I'm done. And and I'm gonna have that with traditional mashed potatoes and corn. So in about another, I would say maybe another an hour to a half, 90 minutes, we should be eating good. Okay. So stay with me. This is part 1 of how to make meatloaf. Like I said, you can make it whatever way you want. I don't care. You make it the way you want. I'm just giving you an idea. Chef Jesse here. Hey, so folks, stay tuned and I'll let you know how this meatloaf comes out because it looks pretty good. So folks, I got my oven set to 375. This is a big piece of meat, folks. It's like a brick, So you gotta really make it sure that it cooks through. I recommend buying a meat thermometer. I got this digital one, Hey, take everybody's temperature now. Why not your meatloafs? Stick it in the meatloaf, and it should tell you ground meats should be reading at 165 in the middle. So stick it in there and make sure it's 165 or above, and you're halfway done, and you're more or less okay. And it's gonna start. The meatloaf is gonna start to the top oozing out juice, and it's cooking. So anyway, folks, like I said, my oven is set at 375. I'm gonna set my timer for 1 hour, and I'll check it in 1 hour. And now I'm gonna go listen to music and put my meatloaf in the center. I'm gonna put it in the center, and I'm gonna wash these dishes or this mess that I did here, and I'll come back to you when I'm done.